Hello, check. All right, people, I believe we are premiering now. Thank you so much for waiting. This is a recorded class, not a live class. On weekends, our classes on this channel are recorded. So, people, today we will discuss about different types of enthalpies. Yeah. What have we done till now in thermodynamics? We have basically seen all the different types of definitions, of internal energy, of enthalpy, of Gibbs free energy, of entropy, what is heat, what is work, and we've been dealing with a lot of thermodynamics. And in the previous class we understood a lot of things about the Gibbs free energy. If you missed that, please make sure you watch it. Okay, now today we are stepping forward into thermodynamics, going into thermochemistry. This is where the chapter of thermodynamics branches out differently in physics and chemistry. In physics, you will study about engines, maybe you'll study about the Carnot cycle. Over here, you'll study about chemical reactions, the enthalpies of different processes, the enthalpies of formation of different reactions, etc., etc. Cool. So this particular part of thermodynamics is very easy, very scoring, very interesting and entertaining if you pay attention. Cool. So I hope you do. So today we will look at enthalpies of different processes. First of all, if we look at any process, you can write that as a chemical reaction. ठीक है? तो मान लो कोई भी process हो रहा है. Let's say X plus A is going to Y, or X solid is going to X gaseous. Yeah, or X is combining with oxygen to give you lots of smaller products. Yeah, let's say X plus something. Okay. Yeah, so different types of reactions. This is just a normal chemical reaction. This is basically solid going to gas, so sublimation. This is X reacting with oxygen, so this can be called combustion. For any process in chemistry, for any reaction in chemistry, there is always some enthalpy change associated with that process. Delta H of this reaction could be something, delta H of this reaction could be something, delta H of this reaction could be something. Delta H is positive if the reaction is endothermic, delta H is negative if the reaction is exothermic. You know what delta H is when it is written in front of a reaction. It's basically the heat exchange in a particular chemical reaction, right? Fine. So you understand the meanings of exothermic and endothermic, yes? Delta H, if it is less than 0, this particular reaction is releasing energy. It's an exothermic reaction. Delta H, if it is greater than 0, this particular reaction is involving energy. Solid to gas, you have to provide it energy for this to happen. Cool. So this is an idea that we understand. Now what we will do is we will just look at different reactions and give these enthalpies different names. This will just be the enthalpy of reaction. This can be called enthalpy of sublimation of X. You don't want them to think you are stupid, so you add an extra word at the end of enthalpy. Enthalpy of sublimation of X instead of just saying enthalpy of this reaction. Over here, enthalpy of combustion of X. Instead of just saying that X when reacts with O2 has an enthalpy, that's the enthalpy change. Enthalpy of combustion of X. So now what we'll do is we'll just give fancy names to enthalpies, and then we will use the fact that enthalpy is a state function. Remember, enthalpy is a state function. We will use that fact to do some questions later on in today's class. So let's go into the first type of enthalpy that we will define. That is the enthalpy of different physical changes. All of them have been mentioned over here. Solid can go to liquid to gas. Solid goes to liquid by melting or fusion. Liquid goes to gas by vaporization. Gas becomes liquid by condensation. Liquid becomes a solid by freezing. And if there is a direct transfer between solid to gas, it is called sublimation. So my dear friends, let us write the processes, individual processes, so that we understand this better. Let us say we have let's take Y. Okay, some element, some compound, whatever. Y is some compound. Okay. Y solid when goes to Y liquid. Delta H of this reaction will be called delta H of fusion. Yes. Instead of just calling it delta H of this reaction, we will call it delta H of fusion. So ये fusion वाला हो गया. Next case which we can write is Y liquid going to Y gaseous. Over here what will we write? We will write delta H of vaporization. Then what we can do is we can write something like this: Y gaseous going to Y liquid. This will be, what will be the case? Delta H of, what delta H is this? This is the delta H of condensation. This is the delta H of condensation. Do you realize if I go from liquid to gas, this is the delta H. If I go back to liquid from the gas, yeah, liquid to gas, gas to liquid, liquid to gas, gas to liquid, you're coming back to the same state. Initial state and final state are the same in both cases. So do you realize that this delta H condensation will simply be equal to minus delta H vaporization? Isn't that obvious? यहां से यहां जाने में इतना एंथैल्पी लगा, सो वापस आने में उसका उल्टा एंथैल्पी लगेगा. इफ लिक्विड टू गैस टेक्स 10 joules of energy, गैस टू लिक्विड वापस आने पे you will be releasing those 10 joules of energy. Fine. So this is pretty obvious because enthalpy is a state function. Now my dear friends, for this case, this was delta H of fusion. Yeah. What if I turn liquid to solid? This is going to be delta H of freezing. Yes. Same idea. So once again, delta H of fusion will be equal to minus times the delta H of freezing. Yeah, these two will have the same magnitude but the opposite sign. Fusion mein you will have to provide energy, freezing will release energy. Yes, exothermic and endothermic. And you'll be like, sir, how? Sir, but we have to put the glass into, you have to put the glass of water into the fridge to freeze it. So aren't we giving energy in this process? See, understand, we are talking only about the delta H. Do you remember, spontaneity of the process depends on the temperature at which it is done. Delta H minus T delta S, the overall thing has to be negative for the reaction to happen properly. Okay. So this process, liquid to solid, is spontaneous only at low temperatures. And at that low temperature, even though you are giving out some energy, okay, entropy only then starts becoming a negative value essentially. Okay. The idea is that when you balance the entropy and enthalpy depending on the temperature, then the reaction becomes spontaneous. So this reaction, liquid to solid, of course solid has less energy than the liquid. Yeah, liquid has more energy, that's why it roams around. Solid has less energy, that's why it sits like this. Yeah. So in this process, it is logical that the process will be exothermic. Yeah, liquid to solid ja raha hai, energy will be released, but it is exothermic. But the thing is, you will have to do this process at a low temperature for it to happen spontaneously. ये idea है behind the processes that are not spontaneous still are exothermic, which are spontaneous but still are endothermic. It depends on the temperature because delta G is delta H minus T delta S. Temperature is a very important factor. Cool. So ये तो सब चीजें हो गई. Now my dear friends, do you understand what will happen? Okay, let me give you a thought experiment. एक idea देता हूँ. Let's say I take a glass of water. Let's say I take this bottle. Yeah, ये bottle लिया मैंने. I fill this bottle up and I put this in the fridge. And I tell you that or let's say instead of putting in the fridge, an easier example is to boil it because when you provide energy, something happens. You can see it. So I take this amount of water, put it in a boiler and boil it. And I realize that I have to give it, let's say, 1000 kilojoules of energy to boil it. Random number, okay? काफी ज़्यादा energy दे दिया. So let's say I'm giving it 1000 kilojoules of energy to boil it. Fine, got it. Now I tell you, hey bro, can you please boil water? And you'll be like, okay sir, I'll boil water. So you also boil water, okay? So you boil water, and then you realize. Then I ask you, how much energy did that water take? Like, sir, only 50 kilojoules, sir. Eh? What went wrong over here? What went wrong over here? What do you think is different in these two processes? Yeah, I take this bottle, I have to give it 1000 kilojoules of energy to boil it, but on your side, you require only 50 kilojoules. इतना ज़्यादा difference कैसे आ गया? Such a huge difference will definitely not happen because of pressure, temperature, whatsoever. Yeah, it is happening because we both are taking different quantities of water. Isn't it? Yeah, if I take this huge bottle of water and you take only 1 spoon of water, of course the values that we get are not going to be the same. So if a scientist is doing experiment in Bangalore, if another scientist is doing an experiment in Chennai, if another scientist is doing an experiment somewhere in let's say Australia, if we all take different amounts to begin with, we'll all report different enthalpies. So the thing is, we need to standardize this case. Whenever in a book we report enthalpy of fusion of water, it has to be a standardized case. And what is the standard case? My dear friends, the standard case is that I will take 1 mole of water. these standard enthalpies, whatever standard enthalpy we have, okay, whatever enthalpy we have, whether it is enthalpy of fusion, vaporization, condensation, freezing, combustion, atomization, whatever, it is defined for only 1 mole of the substance in question. यहाँ पे water बोल दिया अपन ने, but there can be some other liquid as well, 1 mole of X. So all these enthalpy changes are defined for 1 mole of a substance. 1 mole of a substance, when it converts from solid to liquid, the enthalpy change associated with that particular reaction is called the enthalpy of fusion for that particular gas, for that particular liquid, ठीक है, for that particular substance, better statement. ठीक है जी, चमक रहा है. So you have to take 1 mole of that particular substance to be able to tell its enthalpy of fusion. You can't just randomly take 2000 kilograms of water. 1 mole of water and is 18 grams. Okay, chamka. So enthalpy of these changes have to be taken for 1 mole. So the same thing that I explained to you is written in text over here. So the enthalpy change that is accompanied during fusion of 1 mole of a solid without change in temperature at a constant pressure is called as enthalpy of fusion. You know, while the phase transition happens, the temperature doesn't change. You know that. And pressure is also constant because we are assuming that we are doing this process in the atmosphere. The truck agrees. Yeah. So we are doing this process in the atmosphere. You are boiling the water in usual atmospheric conditions. The atmospheric pressure will always be 1 atm. Yeah. Approximately. So the thing is that this is the assumption for the definition. Yeah. You know, at different pressures water boils at different temperatures. Yeah. So if I am boiling water at a certain pressure, a scientist in Australia is boiling water at a different pressure, we will not get the same values. So again, we will have to make sure that our ambient pressure conditions are also the same. Fine. So enthalpy change that is accompanied during fusion of 1 mole of a solid without changing the temperature at a constant pressure is known as the enthalpy of fusion. Okay. So enthalpy of fusion is solid to liquid. Delta H of fusion is given over there. Example is H2O solid going to H2O liquid. Delta H of fusion is this 6.01 kilojoules per mole at 0 degree Celsius. Cool. So can I ask you, what will be the delta H of क्या कहते हैं, freezing of water? What will be the delta H of freezing of water? कितना हो जाएगा? Of course, minus 6.01 kilojoules per mole. Yes, absolutely. What else? यही होगा ना, उल्टा हो जाएगा बस, और क्या? Cool. So this is the case. Similar example is taken for vaporization as well. So same definition, enthalpy change that is accompanied during vaporization of 1 mole of a liquid without changing temperature at a constant pressure is called enthalpy of vaporization. So if water's enthalpy of vaporization is plus 45.07 kilojoules per mole at 100 degrees Celsius, what will be the enthalpy of condensation? Minus 45. How difficult was that? Cool. That's the idea behind enthalpy of these individual processes. Just remember that it is defined for standard conditions. Yeah, 1 mole, no change in temperature, no change in pressure, right? So now let us try to look at the enthalpy of an entire reaction. Whatever is given over here, I'll try to explain it to you by writing it myself, and then when we see the statements, it will become an obvious idea. Okay, it's like thinking about it yourself and then reading it in a book and affirming whatever we've thought. So let's take a random reaction. AA plus BB goes to C times C plus D times D. Yes, fine. My dear friends, how do we calculate the delta H of this reaction? RXN bolo to reaction. I'll give you a very simple statement. You'll be like, हाँ sir, बात बनती है. Enthalpy of the reaction, change in enthalpy of the reaction. Basically, what's the idea? A and B combined have a certain amount of heat in the system. Yeah, enthalpy is what? Net heat content of the system. So there is a certain amount of heat that they possess. C and D, they possess a certain amount of heat. The difference is the change in enthalpy. A के पास heat है, B के पास heat है, C के पास heat है, D के पास heat है. इसमें जो difference आएगा, that will be the delta H, isn't it? Yeah. So delta H of the reaction can simply be written as, delta H of the reaction can simply be written as enthalpy of the products. Okay, enthalpy of products, that is the final enthalpy minus enthalpy of reactants. Yeah, enthalpy final minus enthalpy initial. Okay, great. So what can I write over here? Instead of writing this English wala statement, I can write something mathematically. That will be, okay, now you know enthalpy is an extensive property. Yeah, more system, more heat content in the system. Isn't it obvious? Yeah, if I have a big tank of boiling water, I have more heat content. If I have a small glass of boiling water, I have less heat content with me. So what can I write over here? Delta H for the reaction is equal to D times, okay, enthalpy of D plus C times enthalpy of C. Okay? We are assuming that enthalpy is defined for per mole. So if D moles of D are getting produced at the end, you have to multiply D with the enthalpy per mole. Okay? So D times enthalpy of D per mole, C times enthalpy of C per mole, minus B times enthalpy of B per mole, minus A times enthalpy of A per mole. Pretty obvious, right? Total enthalpy of products minus total enthalpy of reactants. That's exactly what's written over here, yeah. Yeah, AA plus BB going to CC plus DD. So क्या आएगा? Delta H of the reaction is, देख लो यार, is the same thing that has been written, isn't it? Same ही चीज लिखा है ना? Let me just check whether the focus is fine. थोड़ा सा better हो सकता है शायद, हाँ. Yeah, a little better now. So cool, do you understand? This is a pretty obvious idea. Delta H of the reaction is equal to Cc plus Dd minus AA plus Bb. You get the idea. Same thing that we've written over here. Enthalpy of products minus enthalpy of the reactants. So this is one way in which you can calculate the enthalpy of a reaction. We'll use this idea later on. Okay. तो चलो अब क्या बात आती है? The next thing is, what is the standard enthalpy of a reaction? See, reaction can be done in different conditions, as I told you. I can do the reaction in my kitchen. You can do the reaction in your bedroom. Whatever the case may be, yeah. My kitchen might be at lower temperature. Your bedroom might be at 0 degrees Celsius, depending on where you live. Maybe you live in Antarctica. If you do, then why are you watching my videos? Anyway, the thing is that different people will do different reactions at different conditions. Depends, yeah. So what we need to do is, in order to define a standard enthalpy for a reaction, okay, let's say there is a reaction which has to be done in the industry. Let's say C plus O2 to give CO2. Let's say there is an industry which has to produce a lot of carbon dioxide and it uses coal or coke to do so. Very pathetic example, but okay, fine. They need to know what is the enthalpy of the reaction. Someone says it's 100, someone says it's 1000, someone says it's 9999. We have to give them a standard enthalpy figure. As a scientist, I have to report a standard enthalpy figure. I have to do the reaction in a standard condition, standard amount. Standard enthalpy of a reaction is enthalpy of the reaction when reactants and products are in their standard states. Delta H naught बोलते हैं उसको. So delta H is the enthalpy of reaction at any random condition, depends. But when it is at the standard condition, it is called delta H naught. Whenever in chemistry you have this naught on top of it, this zero is called naught. Okay. Whenever in chemistry, whenever in physics you have this naught on top of any physical value, it means that we are talking about a standard value. Now, what are these standard values? Like, what are the standard conditions? Do we have to maintain a specific temperature? Do we have to maintain a specific pressure, etc., etc.? Let me tell you what different standard states are like. Standard states for different substances. For gas, ideal gas, at 1 bar partial pressure at any given temperature. Okay? So, in a reaction, if you are taking gas, you have to take 1 bar of that gas. For liquid, pure liquid at 1 bar pressure at any given temperature. Okay? So if you are taking liquid, the liquid has to be taken at 1 bar pressure. Yeah, you can't just take, क्या कहते हैं, one mole of gas or 1 mole of liquid, because the reaction might require multiple number of moles. Yeah, so you can't standardize the number of moles in every reaction. You can't say that this reaction will happen only with 2 moles. Reaction might need 3 moles or 1 mole. So what you can figure out, what you can standardize are the conditions around you. Conditions are: for gases 1 bar pressure, for liquid again 1 bar pressure, for pure crystalline solid should be at 1 bar pressure. All the conditions are the same. And for any substance in the solution, the species should be taken in unit molarity. Okay, यहाँ molarity matter करती है. You'll be like, sir, now why are we taking moles? See, because molarity is moles per liter. Molarity is moles per liter. You can take 10 moles as well. You just have to take a lot of concentration of you have to take a lot of solution. If your solution is, let's say, 0.5 moles per liter, you have to take a lot of solution to make it into 20 moles. है ना, आपको 40 liter of solution देना पड़ जाएगा. Yes. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? Molarity is constant. Number of moles, no one is stopping you from taking 200 of number of moles. Okay, but the thing is that the molarity of the solution taken has to be 1 mole per liter at 1 bar pressure at any given temperature. Okay, so gas, liquid and pure solid 1 bar pressure. For any substance in solution has to be 1 molar solution, again at 1 bar of pressure. So these are the standard conditions, and when you do a reaction with gases or liquids or solids or solutions at standard conditions, then the enthalpy that you will get will be called the standard enthalpy of that reaction. Fine. ठीक है, that will be called the standard enthalpy of that particular reaction. तो ये करते हैं question. This question will help you understand a little bit better what we are talking about. When we deal with numbers, when we get our hands dirty, things become easier. 6.24 grams of ethanol are vaporized by supplying 5.89 kilojoules of heat. अच्छा जी. So you have 6.24. अच्छा, पहले तो reaction लिखते हैं. What is going on? Ethanol. So C2H5OH. C2H5OH is being vaporized, so it is turning from a liquid to a gas. Fine, gas बना दिया अपन ने. And what has been given to us is that for 6.24 grams, okay, for 6.24 grams of ethanol, I need 5.89 kilojoules of energy. Yeah, एक second. 5.89 kilojoules of energy to do this process. What is being said? What is the enthalpy of vaporization of ethanol? Isn't this the enthalpy of vaporization? Because we are defining the enthalpies of vaporization for 1 mole of the substance. Yes? We have to define the enthalpies of formation for 1 mole of the substance. So what is the molar weight of this substance, people? What's the weight for 1 mole? 12 into 2 plus 6 plus 16. कितना आता है ये? C2H5OH, what is the weight of ethanol? Yeah, 24 plus 6 plus 16. कितना होता है ये? Everyone knows this. Yeah, 24 plus 6 हो गया 30 plus 16 हो गया 46, है ना जी? That's the weight of ethanol as far as I remember. Yeah, cool. तो एक बार मैं डबल चेक कर लेता हूँ because my mathematics is very bad and I don't have the help of the chat box today. So 12 into 24, 24 6 36, 46 plus 6. Okay, sorry. किया ना गड़बड़ मैंने? Just a second. Yeah, this will be 30 plus 16. This will be 46. हाँ, ठीक है, बिल्कुल सही किया था मैंने. So ethanol's weight is 46. Yeah. So if 6.24 grams of ethanol need this much energy, okay, if 6.24 grams of ethanol need this much energy, then 46 grams of ethanol will need how much energy? कितना रहेगा? Yeah, so this will be 5.89 divided by 6.24, that is for 1 gram, into 46 kilojoules of energy, and this is a calculation that I'm pretty sure you guys can do. ठीक है, so एक बार note down कर लो. If you have any doubts, you can leave a comment down below, by the way. Yeah, if you have any doubt, you can leave a comment down below. नीचे एक comment जरूर लिख देना. Okay, in case you have any problem, in case you have any doubt. So this is what you have to calculate. Yeah, enthalpy for 1 gram into 46 grams. So this essentially becomes delta H per mole. That is how we need to define the delta H of vaporization of ethanol. Cool? ठीक है, चमक गया. Fine, awesome. Let's move on to the next question. Enthalpy of fusion of ice is 6.01 kilojoules per mole. The enthalpy of vaporization of water is 45.07 kilojoules per mole. What's the enthalpy of sublimation of ice? Simple question. Yeah, what has been given to you is if solid gets converted to liquid, yeah, delta H is equal to, delta H कितना दिया है यहाँ पे 6.01 yeah, kilojoules per mole. Right, then the next is H2O going from liquid to H2O gaseous. This has been given as कितना दे रखा है यहाँ पे 45.07 kilojoules per mole. Right, done. Okay, so अब दोस्तों what we need to calculate, okay, what we need to calculate is, I'll write it with blue color, I need to calculate H2O solid going to H2O gaseous. I have to go from here to here, then from here to here. Yeah, this is liquid. Do you realize I can make this process by adding these two processes together? Yeah. If I add these two processes together, H2O to liquid and then liquid to gas, solid to liquid, liquid to gas. So if I add these two processes together, I am getting this entire bigger process. So similarly, the enthalpy of this process will simply be the addition of the first two processes. Simply isko add karna hai and you'll get the answer. So 45.07 has to be added to 6.01 to get the final answer. Cool. 51.08 kilojoules per mole. Done. As simple as that. Yes, ho gaya. So, do you understand what we did here? We basically, when we added two reactions together, we could add their enthalpies together. Adding two reactions to make the final reaction, we could add their enthalpies as well. This type of an analysis is known as Hess law. This analysis can be called Hess law, and we will learn Hess law in the upcoming class. Okay? Next class, jo Tuesday ko hoga, we will learn Hess law in that class, and this is exactly what it is. It's just a little more complicated because we use extended weird reactions. Fine? Cool? Chalo ji. Aage badhte hain. Now, my dear friends, comes the enthalpy of formation. This is the most important part of thermochemistry. If you understand enthalpy of formation, you will get good marks in thermodynamics because every year questions come from this idea directly. Enthalpy of formation. Read the statement carefully. It is the heat absorbed or released, okay fine, it is the enthalpy, when 1 mole of a compound, is formed from its constituent elements under standard elemental forms. My dear friends, before I go any further, can you explain to me the meaning of the word elemental? Can you explain to me the meaning of the word elemental? What is an element? Hydrogen, oxygen, carbon, nitrogen, fluorine, so on and so forth, yeah? But what do we mean by an element? Element is just one type of atoms, yeah? What is the, let me rephrase this question to make it better for you to understand. What is the standard elemental form of oxygen? How would I rephrase that same question? What is the form of oxygen found in nature? The most commonly found form of oxygen in our atmosphere, where there is only oxygen, nothing else, is O2 gas. Do I find oxygen atoms alone in the atmosphere? No, I don't. Yeah. But you will say, sir, we find oxygen in water as well. But is this an elemental form? No, this is not an elemental form. Not elemental. Yeah, because it has two different kind of atoms. You have hydrogens and oxygens. You need to find a natural form where you have only one type of atoms making up that entire thing. आपको ऐसी चीज खोजनी है नेचर में जिसमें एक ही तरह के एटम बार बार रिपीट होकर उस पूरी चीज को बना रहे हैं. सो O2 गैस जो है, if you purify O2 gas, it will have only and only oxygen atoms making it up. If you purify water, it will still have hydrogen and oxygen both. So this is not elemental. This O2 gas is basically the standard elemental form. Okay, this is the elemental form. So now, my dear friends, what's going on over here? This definition says it's the heat absorbed or released when 1 mole of a compound is formed from its constituent elements under their standard elemental forms. I will give you 3 equations right now. You have to tell me which one of these is the enthalpy of formation of water. I'm going to give you 3 different ways to create water. Okay. तो 3 बार पानी ऐसा बनाते हैं. Random reactions. These may or may not exist in nature. These may or may not be, logical processes, but still, just for the definition, we need to understand this. Okay, so pani, बहुत सारा पानी. In the first case, what we do is we react. क्या चीजें react करें in the first case? चलो, let us try to react. Hold on, people. I'm thinking, what is a better example? Yeah, because water में तो there are only 2 things. चलो, let us try to think about C6H12O6. Okay, let's think about sugar. Let's think about a sugar. C6, अरे यार, C6H12O6. Okay, so let's make this in a couple of manners. C6H12O6 थोड़ी 2-3 चीजें तरह से बनाते हैं इसको. Let's make this in 3 different manners. First way is I combine, let's say I have a okay, तो मान लो अपने पास है C2H4. We have a gas C2H4. 3 times C2H4 plus 6 times O2 gas is giving me this. Okay. Next, how do we prepare this guy? We do something like this. We write a reaction where we are using C6H12, some compound C6H12 plus 6 times O2 to give this reaction. Or better still, let's do something like this. Let's say we are using C12H24. Okay, let's say we are using C12H24 plus sorry, यहाँ पे मैंने बैलेंस ही गलत किया. 3 times O2. This one let's take कितना लेंगे? 6 times O2. ठीक है? To create 2 molecules of C6H12O6. Okay, do you understand? This one we are using 3 of this to create glucose. Over here we are using C12H24 plus 6 times O2, that are 12 oxygens. So overall this will give me 2 molecules of glucose here. तीसरा वाला देखते हैं. Third one I will do something like this. 1/6 of, sorry, not 1/6, 6 times carbon solid, that is graphite, plus 6 times hydrogen gas plus 3 times oxygen gas gives me 1 mole of glucose. Okay, this is reaction A, this is reaction B, this is reaction C. Sorry, it took me a little bit of time to think of these reactions, but again, if you are able to understand what I've done, nothing better than this. You will be able to score very well from this concept. तो बताओ क्या हो रहा है यहाँ पे? In the first case, we are creating 1 mole of sugar. In the second case, we are creating 2 moles of sugar. In the third case, we are creating 1 mole of sugar. This one looks very weird, like a chess character. अब ठीक लग रहा है, yeah. So in the last case also, we are creating 1 mole of the sugar, but using only carbon individually, hydrogen individually, and O2 individually. Do you realize, okay, do you realize that this is not a standard formation reaction? This is not a standard formation reaction. Only the last one is the standard formation reaction of sugar. 6 times carbon solid. Carbon is found in nature as graphite. You might say, can we use diamond? I'll tell you why we can't use diamond. Okay, 6 times carbon graphite plus 6 times hydrogen gas, because hydrogen in nature is found as hydrogen gas, standard elemental form. plus 3 times O2 gas to create only 1 mole of sugar, which is going to be in its solid state, of course. Yeah, crystal banega sugar ka. This particular process, my dear friends, the enthalpy associated with this process will be called the enthalpy of formation of this sugar. Okay? You have to create 1 mole of a compound starting from its constituent elements under standard elemental forms. Standard elemental forms are how elements are found in nature. Fine. So now, my dear friends, I'm going to show you a very interesting page. Okay. These are the ideas of different standard elemental things. Now, before I read you this statement, okay, what is this statement? I'll read it for you and then I'll explain it to you. The standard enthalpy of formation, enthalpies aana chahiye tha. The standard enthalpies of formation, just autocorrect in your brain. The standard enthalpies of formation of every element in its standard state is taken as 0. Read this statement, then I'll try to explain it. This is one of the most important statements for today's class. The standard enthalpies of formation of every element in the standard state are taken as 0. What does it mean? See. First of all, in gravitation chapter, in chapter of Newton's laws of motion, gravity, etc., etc. Have you ever defined exact value of potential energy? You'll be like, sir, yes, mgh. No. The thing is that you define that the potential at the ground is 0 and then you calculate potential energy starting from there. You have to define a standard at the ground, because what matters to us is the difference in energy. The absolute energy doesn't matter. Remember Bohr's model of the atom? We had deliberately chosen that infinity is at 0 energy. So while doing that calculation, when we have chosen infinity as 0, we got the energy of the first level as minus 13.6 electron volts per atom. Yes, Bohr's model of the atom. So the thing is that for these quantities for which the absolute values don't matter, absolute values can't really be calculated. It doesn't matter, because all you are worried about is the change in that quantity, change in potential energy, change in enthalpy, change in internal energy. So similarly over here, people, since this enthalpy is a state function whose absolute value doesn't matter, only the change in that value matters. Yes, change matter karta na. So the thing is, the standards, the 0 value is defined for these elemental forms. Okay. For elemental forms, we define enthalpy as 0. And logically as well, think about it. These elemental forms are already created in nature. Do we have to create them in laboratory once again? No. They are already there in nature, right? We don't have to provide any extra energy to create them once again. So the thing is that these standard elemental forms are taken to be already existing without any more energy needed. There's no more necessary energy that you need to provide them. So we can say that the enthalpy of formation of standard elemental forms is 0. Okay? For example, standard enthalpy of formation of O2 gas is 0. Enthalpy of formation of graphite is 0. This is just a convention, okay? It's conventionally chosen that graphite will be 0 and diamond will not be 0, okay? We choose, see, it is a choice, yeah? We choose, because we have to choose some standard, we choose that graphite is the standard elemental form, diamond is not a standard elemental form. This is just a choice, and you have studied that if you put graphite under a lot of pressure, it creates diamond. So logically we chose graphite as the standard elemental form. Yeah. Bromine liquid, bromine usually at room temperature is found at liquid state. So bromine liquid enthalpy of formation is taken as 0, but bromine gas enthalpy of formation is not 0. You will get bromine liquid from nature and then you can convert it into gas by putting some more energy. So the phase also matters. O2 has to be taken as gaseous, carbon has to be taken as solid graphite, bromine has to be taken as liquid for its standard elemental form. This is how we have defined it. Rhombic sulfur is taken as the elemental form, White phosphorus is taken as the elemental form. Some people will say, sir, black phosphorus is more stable, red phosphorus is also there. Conventionally, we define white phosphorus as the standard elemental form. This doubt a lot of people ask me. It's just a convention. We've chosen this for our convenience. Okay. Iodine, generally at room temperatures, it is solidified, van der Waals solid. Yeah. So iodine solid enthalpy of formation is 0. Iodine gaseous enthalpy of formation is not 0. Okay. So the standard enthalpies of formation of every element in its standard state is taken as 0. Sorry. तो ये चीज याद रखना, okay? Standard elemental forms, the enthalpy of formation is 0. So now, my dear friends, let me try to, tell you something interesting. Okay? Let me try to tell you something interesting over here. Let's try to write a reaction for water. अब थोड़ा simple reaction ले लेते हैं. Sorry. So how do we write the enthalpy of formation reaction for water? You will be creating 1 mole of water. This is what you have to fix. You have to create 1 mole of water which is liquid. That's the usual form of water that you will find. You have to start with hydrogen gas and oxygen gas, because these are the standard elemental forms of the constituents, hydrogen and oxygen. And how much do we take? We need 1 mole of H2 to create 2 hydrogens, and we just need half a mole of O2. So this entire reaction tells you the delta H naught of formation. Okay, for formation we'll just write F of H2O. Yeah, delta HF naught भी बोल देते हैं इसको. We also call it delta HF naught. Okay, so standard enthalpy of formation of water will be the enthalpy related to this particular reaction. Cool, people? Now, just to give you a little more glimpse into the world of thermochemistry, the enthalpy of this reaction, which is the standard enthalpy of formation of water, can I write this as 1 times the absolute enthalpy of water? Yeah, enthalpy of products minus enthalpy of reactants. We can write that, isn't it? We can write this as enthalpy of products minus enthalpy of reactants. Yeah. So enthalpy of H2O minus half times the absolute enthalpy of O2 minus 1 times the absolute enthalpy of hydrogen. Do you understand this idea? ये तो चमक रहा होगा. Yeah, get it? Enthalpy of products minus enthalpy of reactants is the enthalpy of the reaction, which we now call, we've given it a name, enthalpy of formation. Yeah, उसको नाम दे दिया. Cool. My dear friends, now as we have defined that O2 and H2 are standards, they are standard elemental forms, we have defined them as standard. इनका कोई enthalpy of formation नहीं है. Okay, their enthalpy from the beginning is taken as 0. You don't have to give them any energy, take out any energy to form them. So this value is 0. This value is 0. So according to our definition, okay, according to our definition, what we are getting from here is, यहाँ से क्या मिल रहा है अपने को? I'll erase this and write the final idea. In case you need more time on this idea, you can pause the video. What I'm getting finally is that the absolute enthalpy, okay, the absolute enthalpy of water, absolute enthalpy of water is pretty much as good as the delta HF naught of water. Do you understand? Because of the way we defined things. क्योंकि अपन ने डिफाइन ही ऐसे किया कि स्टैंडर्ड एलिमेंटल फॉर्म के तो एंथैल्पी ही 0 है, उसको फॉर्म करने के लिए कोई जगह नहीं लगती, कोई एंथैल्पी नहीं लगती. सो डेल्टा एच एफ नॉट इज 0, उसका एंथैल्पी ही 0 है. सो अकॉर्डिंग टू दैट डेफिनेशन वी हैव चोजन अ स्टैंडर्ड दैट मेक्स अ लाइफ इजियर. According to that standard, the absolute enthalpy of any particular substance is as good as the enthalpy of formation of that substance. Yeah. So now, my dear friends, using this idea, let's revisit what we had done in the beginning of the class, and after this we'll do a couple of questions and then the class will end. Okay. So A times A plus B times B gives you C times C plus D times D. What had I written? Delta H of this reaction is equal to, फटाफट से लिखेंगे. Okay, delta H of this reaction is D times enthalpy of D plus C times enthalpy of C minus A times enthalpy of A minus B times enthalpy of B. This is what I had written, and now I have learned that for any substance the absolute enthalpy can be written as the delta H of formation of that particular substance. So I can write this as D times delta HF naught of D plus C times delta HF naught of C minus A times delta HF naught of A minus B times delta HF naught of B. This is how we have defined things. So instead of dealing with absolute enthalpies, which we didn't know earlier, now we've given them values, and those values are basically equal to the standard enthalpies of formation of each of these substances. Standard enthalpy of formation is defined for 1 mole of a substance starting from the standard elemental forms. Don't forget that it is just a definition that we've given. हमने खुद इसको ऐसे define किया है. Okay, so you can write this down and then we will do a couple of questions. चलो जी, आगे बढ़ते हैं. Standard elemental form, zero enthalpy, बढ़िया. So just some examples given. Enthalpy of formation of CO2, 1 mole of CO2 starting from carbon, graphite and oxygen. CH4, 1 mole of CH4 starting from carbon, graphite and hydrogen. You need 2 molecules of hydrogen gas, yeah. Enthalpy of formation of HBr, 1 mole of HBr starting from 1 mole of hydrogen gas, half a mole of hydrogen gas and half a mole of bromine liquid, gaseous liquid. Yeah, ठीक है. So these are your enthalpies of formation. So let's do this question now. Calculate the heat of combustion of propane if the enthalpies of formation of H2O, CO2, C3, H8 are this and this respectively. What is combustion? Combustion is the reaction with oxygen. In the beginning I told you. Yeah. So what we have? Propane. Propane is what? This guy is propane. Yeah. I just made a bond line formula. Carbon, 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 2 hydrogens, 3 hydrogens, 3 hydrogens. Yeah. So propane is basically C3H8. है ना जी? C3H8. So propane is C3H8, and when you reacted with O2, okay, when you reacted with O2, this is the reaction of combustion. Enthalpy of combustion will be defined only for 1 mole of propane. Enthalpy of combustion of any substance is defined for 1 mole of that substance. Okay, so that's the pattern that we have to follow. We'll discuss more enthalpies in the Tuesday's class. We'll discuss enthalpy of neutralization, enthalpy of hydration, etc., etc. Okay, so enthalpy of combustion of propane is defined for 1 mole of propane when it reacts with enough oxygen to create CO2 plus H2O. That's the reaction that happens with combustion of hydrocarbons. Yes. So if I have to balance this reaction, this will be 3 times because 3 carbons are there. How many hydrogens are there? 8 hydrogens. So this will be 4 times. And how many oxygens do I have now? 4, 5, 6, 5 and a half basically. Sorry, क्या बोल रहा हूँ मैं? 3 into 2 is 6, 7 and 9, 10 oxygens. Yeah. 10 oxygens are there. So I will simply write 5. बात बनती है? Is the reaction balanced? Yeah, you can check. So this is how we balance this reaction. Now, what can we write, people, for the enthalpy of this reaction? Yeah, enthalpy of this reaction will be called the enthalpy of combustion of C3H8. So delta H naught of combustion of C3H8 can be written as enthalpy of products minus enthalpy of reactants. And I already told you that for individual substances, their enthalpies can be taken as enthalpy of formation. So I will write the statement for you. What do you have to write over here? 4 times delta HF naught of water plus 3 times delta HF naught of CO2 minus 5 times delta HF naught of oxygen minus 1 time delta HF naught of C3H8. Yes. Now, my dear friends, the thing is that this value will be equal to 0. As we know that the enthalpy for standard elemental forms is 0. Enthalpy of formation for standard elemental forms is 0. तो अब क्या करना अपने को? बस mathematics करनी है. Now we just have to do mathematics. Let's fill in the values. So after filling the values, what will we get? 4 टाइम्स H2O का कितना है एंथैल्पी ऑफ फॉर्मेशन, -285.5. 4 into -285.5, या इसमें डालेंगे +3 टाइम्स enthalpy of formation of CO2, which is given as -393.5, yeah, minus 1 time enthalpy of formation of propane, that is -104. Take care of the signs, okay? Signs इसलिए bracket में ले लो, take the signs in brackets so that your calculation is a little easier. Fine. And this will be your final answer. This will be the delta H of combustion of C3H8. Sorry, my nose is really blocked today. Got it? कर लोगे? So this is the calculation that you have to do. Once you do the calculation, you'll get the answer. ठीक है, तो अगर मैं गंदा सा अप्रोक्सीमेशन करूं, okay, if I have to do a very bad approximation, I'm doing a very, very, very pathetic approximation, by the way. Okay, so 4 into 285 with a minus sign. This is approximately minus कितना होगा ये? -1100 approximately. Approximate ले रहा हूँ. Very approximate values. My approximation might be wrong. Just giving you approximation so that you can check your answer whether it is close to it or not. If the answer is close, then good. Don't use the calculator because in the examinations calculators are not allowed. Yeah. So ये आ जाएगा -1100. -3 into 4 is 12. So approximately 1200. Yeah. Plus 100. Yeah, so this will be the answer basically. So you have to add approximately 2200 kilojoules per mole. Yeah, all of these are in kilojoules per mole. Yeah, so approximately 2200 with a minus sign kilojoules per mole is the energy of combustion. Yeah, enthalpy of combustion basically itna aa jayega. Yeah, so this minus sign implies that the energy is released. So if they ask you the magnitude of enthalpy of combustion, you will always report it with a positive sign. Okay, 2200 kilojoules per mole is the enthalpy of combustion because you already know that in combustion the enthalpy will be released. Okay, so whenever they ask you what is the enthalpy of combustion, you have to report it with a positive sign. No need to write the negative sign because while combustion, you know by default that energy will be released. If they ask you what's the enthalpy of this reaction, then you have to write a negative sign to tell them that okay, in this reaction the energy is released. But if they already know the reaction, if they already know that combustion is taking place, they already know energy will be released, so you simply give the answer as 2200 kilojoules per mole. This is a very approximate idea. Okay, this is a very approximate calculation, so might be wrong in the exact number. ठीक है जी, चलो बढ़िया. Next question. Is there any other question? चलो ठीक है. So ये वाला question जो है ना, let me give you this question as your homework. ठीक है, this particular question is your homework. Try it. Okay, काफी मजेदार question है, and you can answer in the comment section down below. If you are able to solve this question, then the next class on Tuesday will be very easy for you. What's given over here? Enthalpy of formation of this guy has to be calculated from the given data. Enthalpy of combustion is given, enthalpy of formation of CO2 is given, enthalpy of formation of H2O is given. Write the reaction of enthalpy of combustion. Write the entire thing that we wrote for the previous question. One of those things will be enthalpy of formation. You'll get the answer. Okay, write the same statements that we've written for the previous question over here. You'll get the answer. Okay, so this is your homework question. Answer in the comment section down below. On Tuesday I will announce the names of a few people who gave the answer correctly. Right, and now the class is technically over. In case you guys are becoming serious in your preparation, see what happens is for 2 days we'll feel motivated and then we are not motivated at all. So for 2 days you might watch the classes on YouTube, 2 days you might solve the questions, 3rd day you'll be sleeping, doing nothing, maybe playing with your friends. At that moment, proper guidance is absolutely important. If you are not guided by people regularly in a proper disciplined manner, you will fall off track. So in case you want to get into that disciplined proper preparation which has been tried and tested through the years, coaching preparation, then what you can do is you can join Vedantu's awesome course. The link is in the description. It is called Vedantu's Pro Subscription. This is the coupon code. The coupon code is also in the description box down below. Okay. What is the advantage of this course? It is like an online coaching. You will have live classes with Vedantu's master teachers on Vedantu's patented platform. That platform has integrated instant doubt solving, quiz taking abilities. That's why it's patented. बहुत अच्छा software है. And you will be live in front of the teachers. Yeah, you will be able to solve your doubts instantly. Also, you will be given all sorts of material to solve. You keep asking me what to solve, where to do questions from, etc. Everything will be given to you. Top-notch material, all study material, questions, previous year questions, tough questions, easy questions, everything. And ranks जो होते हैं are important because at the end of the day rank will matter in the examination. So you will be given lots of mock tests in this course. You will be ranked amongst all the students in your batch, and then you can check how good you are performing. Since we are in this time of COVID, I believe that online education is the way to go forward. Yeah, so trust me, this is a very good course. In case you want to be a more dedicated student, then you can purchase the Vedantu's Pro subscription. Link is in the description. Just check it out. You'll know the price, etc. over there. Cool. If you want to, you can enroll. So my dear friends, ठीक है, ये सब चीज़ें तो पुरानी हो गई. So people, this is the question that we will discuss in the upcoming class. Upcoming class is on Tuesday at 7 p.m. That will be a live class. So I hope you still enjoyed this recorded class. Some people don't find it as much fun as the live class, but I still try to make it as best as I can. In case you enjoyed this class, please make sure you hit that thumbs up button. Stay subscribed to the channel because we will keep doing more things very soon. In case there is any question, leave it in the comment section down below. Until next time, take care.